We're back with Joe DeLoach, and there's two ways we can do this, Joe. There's two Super Bowl stories. We were setting up the 1980 Super Bowl. Actually, it's back-to-back Super Bowl, Super Bowl 14 and Super Bowl 15. To start with Super Bowl 14 because I know about this through Gary Peterson. And basically, well, you set it up. There's 3 Valley Times reporters, but only 2 press passes, and everyone gets in. Okay, exactly. To tell us how this happened.
Well, Gary and I had passes. There was another guy, Brian Martin, who came down on his own. And I took Gary's pass and I went outside. But to get through the gate, they had to stamp you. Now, Brian didn't have a stamp, so it was one of these. It wasn't the main entrance. It was one of these side gates where once you're in, you can go out. So the guy didn't. He wouldn't let Brian in. Now I had a sport coat and a tie on, very unusual, and I just went toe to toe and argued with the guy, and he finally just backed down and let Brian in. So
and that's for him.
That's it.
He got in, and it was a good Super Bowl. Tell people about this Super Bowl. I think it was the last Pittsburgh. They won 4 Super Bowls. This was the 4th one, right? Was it Pittsburgh? And
the Rams played them pretty good.
Yeah.
But it was nobody expected the Rams to be in it.
They were 9-7.
And so it was a pro-Ram crowd. In fact, all these games right now are sellouts, but there were a lot of tickets available because, Steelers this was like the 4th time the Steelers had been there. Super Bowl's not, the mega game that is now.
Sure, absolutely.
But it's Vince Ferragamo, he was the Rams quarterback.
Right.
And it was a close game. Wendell Tyler, who, before he changed his name to Wendell.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, well, we don't need to talk about that other team on the Bay. That's for other people.
Okay, yeah, that's right. People don't.
So, and then the 80 Super Bowl.
Go ahead.
Well, Vermeil had burned out the Eagles. He was such an intense. He defined the phrase burnout. And that they were going 2-a-days. And by the time the game came, they weren't ready to play, and the Raiders just, it was 14-3. It was 14 to, I think it was 7-3. Then Kenny's long touchdown play, and 14-3, and the Raiders scored early in the 3rd quarter. I think that was the final score at 21-3. Even though Plunkett got the MVP, Rod Martin should have gotten the MVP because he had three interceptions.
Yeah.
In that game. But I do have a kind of funny story.
Oh, go ahead.
Is that to get in the locker room, you had to, and the big thing was Al Davis already announced his intention of wanting to go to Los Angeles. The big thing was, well, would Roselle give him the trophy if the Raiders won the Super Bowl?
Right.
So there was a lot of media going in those days. They didn't have the presentation out on the field. They had it in the locker room. So trying to get into the locker room was just impossible. I ended up, it was a long hallway. I ended up literally crawling on my legs, going through
like an army crawl?
Bodies. I was on crawling. Next thing I knew, some guy reaches out and grabs me and pulls me out. And it's Burgess Owens, who was a starting free safety. And the thing said, first thing, he had a big smile on his face. He said, "We did it."
That's wonderful.
Nice guy. Really nice guy.
Well, that's something? I say we wrap up on that note. And we can do more in the future, but I can't thank you enough today, Joe. I mean, I've been looking forward to this for a few months, and it's much fun as I thought it would be. Thank you for your time today, Joe.
No problem.
All
My
right.
pleasure.
Okay.
Anytime, Brian.
You got it.